We know he wasn't really running the country.
Knowing what you know now, do you wish like you had a third term? You know what? If I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats, looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony, I'd be fine with that.
We used to think he was actually running the country, and now they're like, no, he didn't even see those executive orders. That was all auto pen.
It's the art of deflection coming from former President Obama, as well as his friends who are still in Congress today, and Senator Warner and Congressman Jim Himes, really all basically saying that exact same statement, which doesn't actually address the issue that was revealed in great detail in the over 100 documents that we released last week, and the documents that we will be releasing later this week that point to the undeniable fact that you laid out in your introduction to this segment, is that the intelligence community had one assessment, that Russia did not have the intent or capability to try to impact the outcome of the U.S. election leading up to Election Day.
Barack Obama's polished legacy didn't stand a prayer once Rogan and Tulsi walked in with flamethrowers. They sliced through the illusion like butter, exposing the contradictions, the chaos, the charm-fueled cover-up. This wasn't commentary, it was a full-scale exposure. No filter, no mercy, no more pretending. It's brutal, relentless, and coldly accurate. For a man so good at speeches, he never saw this takedown coming. If the truth could punch, this was a KO in round 1.
No. He gets a glass of Flint tap water, and I swear to God, he drinks it like this. Watch this.
Can I get some water? I really did need a glass of water. This is not a stunt.
Usually when something isn't a stunt, you have to say
it's
that.
100% a stunt. When was the last time a president stopped a speech to ask, can I get a glass of water? They would never do that. They would have water ready.
Wall Street didn't just cheer when Obama won, they ordered champagne. By the time he was out, billionaires were tanning on offshore yachts. The self-branded corruption fighter somehow became the Wall Street whisperer, hugging bankers tighter than their tax shelters. Rogan didn't need a CIA file to spot the scam. One look at the financial circus Obama greenlit, and he asked the real question: how does a Chicago activist end up CEO of the donor class in under a decade?
A lot of what they campaigned on, they don't practice at all. Great example is the Obama administration. The Hope and Change website had to be changed because there was a bunch of stuff in there about whistleblowers.
I don't think Mr. Snowden was a patriot. I called for a thorough review of our surveillance operations before Mr. Snowden made these leaks. My preference would have been for a lawful, orderly examination of these laws.
Protecting whistleblowers, which they didn't do at all. There was one of the worst administrations for whistleblowers.
I first joined the Democratic Party over 20 years ago. I was 21 years old, and what I saw back then was a party that still stood for free speech. That was a big open tent party that welcomed people with different ideas, different backgrounds, different religions, that stood up for civil liberties, that fought for everyday Americans. It's a party of the little guy. Fast forward to where we are today, that party is completely unrecognizable.
Tulsi grinned like a sniper in heels, dissecting the Hope and Change illusion like it owed her money. The drone-happy Nobel laureate who ghosted whistleblowers like spam callers had the gall to preach transparency. From a man whose team vanished journalists like it was a Vegas magic show. Sunlight as disinfectant. Obama treated sunlight like kryptonite. Every time the press turned the flashlight on him, he bolted like Dracula mid-sunrise. Transparency was never on the agenda.
I left the Democratic Party because it is led by an elitist cabal of woke warmongers. They are driven by an insatiable greed for power, and they are willing to do whatever they deem is necessary, even the destruction of our freedom, to get what they want and to stay in power. This is the challenge and the threat.
He turned the presidency into a movie trailer, gliding through White House halls like he was selling Air Force Ones, all while authorizing drone strikes from 30,000 feet like it was Call of Duty. Commanders cut, weddings, funerals, invite RSVPD with missiles. One flash, one mistake, one vague apology, always buried in government lingo, written by a psychic 8-ball. War got rebranded, and the bloodstains were replaced with B-roll and speeches about grace.
Tulsi Gabbard explained what most Americans are thinking.
Vast majority of the Democrat elite in Washington, in politics and the media, still can't figure out why President Trump has the support that he has, and that no matter what they're throwing at him, it continues to grow, which just is a reflection of how completely out of touch they are with the people. They continue, as they did in 2016, they continue to see the American people as stupid.
Rogan nearly blew a gasket. Here's a guy who curated playlists more carefully than military strategy. Promised peace, delivered airstrikes, campaigned on hope, delivered hashtags, said he'd end war, then renewed it like a Spotify trial. On autoplay, the Middle East became a sandbox of rubble and regrets, while Obama picked background music for drone footage. Diplomatic only if diplomacy now meant press launch and smile for the cameras.
Best people age the hardest. I think Obama was probably like a very idealistic young man
Oh, Lord, what's going on now? Who's hollering? I can't even see it.
who really wanted to change the world. And that dude aged more than anybody.
I mean, I'm getting old, so I can't hear that well. I can't see that good.
Who aged the
see it.
least? Trump.
Trump.
Trump just
This is something that
he just brushed that shit off his shoulders like it was nothing.
Tulsi watched, like someone forced to relive the bad sequel. Libya, a failed state buffet where slave markets made a comeback. Syria, a weapons giveaway that turned democracy into a bad joke with bombs. Iraq claimed it was over, then left. Troops behind like it was a Marvel post-credit scene, and healthcare. Don't start. Obamacare was the iPhone of policies marketed like magic, delivered like a lemon. Paper cuts required GoFundMe, and navigating the system felt like solving a Rubik's Cube blindfolded.
There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team directed the creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though
His race rhetoric, all poetry, zero pressure. When cities burned, he gave playlists and lectures, not policies, not reform, just symbolism and sound bites. Rogan's circuits fried listing how Obama substituted action with optics. And whistleblowers. Don't even ask Snowden. Hunted, Manning, tortured. Tulsi practically rolled her eyes into next week. This was the man who campaigned on exposing the swamp, then built a hot tub in it, buried the truth deeper, slapped a classified label on it, and walked away like it was noble.
When they gave that speech, when he gave a speech on television, and everybody was like, this. And then they go, it kind of just went away.
It was one of the most beautiful moments in modern American history. People really actually stood up and stopped a war from happening.
Even Joe cracked up. Because nothing screams progressive like building a surveillance state so creepy Orwell would have filed a complaint. NSA was in everyone's DMS while Obama quoted Maya Angelou. Under the surface, he ran a tech Big Brother and an economy fueled by bailouts and backstage deals. And for a guy above politics, he sure poisoned the well, left the country more divided. Where disagreement became blasphemy and nuance became a dog whistle for shut up or you're racist.
Obama said he was a jacket.
The young lady seems like a perfectly nice person. She's getting her award. What's he doing up there? Do that? He's a J.
It's like, oh, really? Well, you.
It was about the Taylor Swift thing.
Now, all this stuff.
That's what Kate said.
That guy's a jacket. It wasn't even that harsh of an incident. And he said it privately, and I think somebody heard it. I don't think he said it to be public.
I'm assuming all this stuff. Where's the pool? Come on, guys.
Legacy media loved him like a teenage crush. Interviews were fluff. Coverage was glow. Appearances felt scripted by Hollywood, while real problems were ignored. The media melted over his tan suit like it cured cancer. Tulsi saw through. The filters behind the spotlight was a speech machine dressed as a savior. The Obama years were a TED Talk in slow-mo. Global stakes hidden behind applause breaks. And if you dared question him, you were dismissed as bitter or dumb. Or worse, missing the nuance.
Terrible things that are happening in our country are happening because we have people in power who care more about themselves and their power than they do about the people, this country, our constitution, our democracy. They are setting this incredibly dangerous precedent that now, much like many banana republics in the world, whoever's in power has the ability to politicize and weaponize that power to go after their political opponent. Take away whatever people think about Trump or whatever.
Right.
The consequences and implications of what is actually happening and what so many of the Democrat elite are justifying in the name of protecting democracy is actually destroyed.
That Silver Tongue and Peace Prize didn't hide the fact his donor list was longer than CVS receipts, but fans were hypnotized by his cadence, not his record. Rogan ripped the masks clean off. Past the polish, a man who mastered the art of appearing deep while doing nothing. And when he left office, oh no, He didn't fade. He popped up like a motivational ghost at every Dem disaster, preaching unity while ignoring the chaos he seeded. Tulsi stared like she'd seen this movie, before directed by the guy who claimed it wasn't his fault.
That you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold. Tulsi Gabbard. Barack Hussein Obama, have you heard of him? And except for the fact that he gets shielded by the press for his entire life, that's the one they... Look, he's guilty. It's not a question. I like to say, let's give it time. It's there. He's guilty. This was treason. This was every word you can think.
Joe lost it laughing. Climate change sermons from a guy chilling in a $12 million beachfront estate. Income inequality speeches from someone with a personal chef for his dogs. It's like a firefighter showing up with gasoline and a TED Talk. The media's nostalgia only fuels the farce. It's a brand, not a legacy. Buzzwords, poses, mood lighting. Real change didn't vanish. It never showed. It RSVP'd skipped the party and left the cleanup to someone else, while Obama vacationed with Netflix deals.
Went on stage and he roasted Trump.
Donald Trump is here tonight.
And one of the lines he said to Trump, he said, "I'm one thing that you'll never be, which is the president of the United States."
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
And you could see Trump in his head going, "All right, okay, I'm going to run now." That one moment where Obama was talking shit to him might be the reason why Trump was like, I'll show you.
Behind the standing ovations and smooth monologues was a legacy, less about hope, more about how to monetize it. And just when you think the show's over, cue the lights. Another memoir, another docuseries, another drone, circling somewhere. Off script, the applause still echoes from his last self-congratulatory speech, but the country's still choking on broken promises. The only thing that changed was how well the status quo learned to smile. And Tulsi and Rogan just yanked the mask off that smile like a bad prop in a canceled reboot.